Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this video we're going to be continuing on with our Swift programming tutorial series, and in this particular tutorial we're going to be taking a look at extensions in Swift. Now, what exactly are extensions? Well, extensions are a way for us to, extend the functionality of an already existing type without for example, inheriting from it or anything like that. An extension essentially allows us to go in and directly add new functionality to an existing type. So, how exactly do we do this then? Well, if we go into Xcode and we go ahead and create a new file, let's see here. There we go. I want a Swift file. I'm going to call this... Okay, yes, I get it, VoiceOver. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to call this math operations plus the type that we're going to extend. In this case, where this is going to be an extension for the int type. So there we go. This is kind of the way that I like to name my extensions. Other people do the same, where they'll first define what the extension does. So in this case, this is going to provide some math operations. And it's and plus then the name of the type that you're creating an extension for, which is int. So math operations int. That way we know what the extension does and what type we're extending. For more, that way our code base is a little bit easier to navigate and stuff like that. Go ahead and create that new file. Alright, now that we have that all squared away, let's go ahead and I'm going to just make sure that the foundation is imported. And then in here, we're going to say extension. And then the type that we're extending, so int, and open that up. There we go. So that is the basic syntax for creating an extension, but we're not quite done now, are we? No, not particularly. So to create a function, for example, or a method or whatever you want to call it, for an int that doesn't modify its own value, we can first off decide whether or not this is going to be static. We can create a static and a non-static version of this if we wanted to, but I'm going to create a static version. So static func, let's say sum, and we'll say A int and B int returns an int, and we can say return A plus B, like that. But let's say we also want to allow the addition of we want to get the sum of every element in an array. Well, to do that, we can say static func sum, say numbers, And this is going to be an array of integers. We want to return an int. And here we can say return numbers.reduce plus. So starting at 0 and then it adds them all together. All right, so those are our methods for addition. We can do the same thing. For our subtraction and everything like that. So let's go ahead and just copy everything here. And we can just change them as needed. So copy that. Copy that. Now, of course, in the case of a subtraction, you might want to have it be at a starting point. So we can add a number. Let's see here. We want start int. There we go. Now, instead of 0, we can say start and then have our minus. We'll say difference. We can say A minus B. And say difference. All right. All right, and then we can, again, paste that in there. And then in here, this is going to be for our product. Instead of a plus, it'll be a multiplication. And we can say product. We can say A times B. And again, product, like that. And now we can do our quotient methods here. Now again, we'll have a start parameter here. There we go. Static func quotient. A divided by B. And we can say quotients like that. Save it, and there's our extension. Okay, so we have all of those methods. There's 8 of them now. 2 for calculating sums, 2 for calculating differences, 2 for calculating products, and then 2 for calculating quotients. You can add more if you want, but we're only going to add these 8. Go ahead and save your code. And we're going to go into our navigator, go into our main file now. Okay. And then in here, we are going to make sure to import foundation just to make sure that everything works. All right. Now, let's go ahead and call all of our methods to show that they actually did, that they are actually added into the int struct, because int is a struct. With extensions, they can be on structs or classes. It doesn't matter. Even protocols. So if you want to extend a protocol, you can do that too. But let's go ahead and say var sum, or sum1, equals int dot sum, and here's our 2 sum methods. We have one for 2 integers and then one for an array of numbers. So for the first one, we'll do A and B. We'll say 2 and 2. All right. Var sum2 equals int dot sum. And we'll give this one an array. And inside of this array, there will be 1, 2, and 3. All right. Var diff1 equals int dot difference. And now here we have our 2 difference methods. One with an A and B, and then the other with a start and a array. So we'll start with A and B, and we'll say A is 10, and then B is, let's say, 7. Okay. Let diff 2 equals int dot difference. This is going to be start of, let's say, a start of 10. Or rather, a start of 12, I guess. And then we'll have the array being 4, comma, 3, 2, comma, 1. Okay, there we go. And now we can say var prod1 equals int dot product, and we have our int a and b, so that will be, let's say 10 and 12. Var prod2 equals int dot product, and we want the numbers. And so here we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now let's actually go back into our extension and make sure that I did actually add the start parameter to our quotient, because I am not confident that I actually did that. No, I did not. Good thing I checked. We want a start of an int, and there we go. All right. Now, let's go ahead and say var quotient1 equals int dot quotient. So we have our two quotients. And so let's say 10 and 2. And so now let's say let's go ahead and say var quotient 2 equals int dot quotient start. We'll say start of 100. And in the array, we can have 2, 2, 2, 2. There we go. All right. There we go. That's saved. Now let's go ahead and print our values. Print sum1, print sum2, print diff1, print diff2, print prod1, print prod2, print quotient1, print quotient 2. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and build our code. Build failed. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at what code we might be erroring on. Okay, so we're missing an argument label somewhere. Okay. That's where I'm missing it. And we want numbers like that. Okay. Save that, build it, and now we have our build successful. Run our code. And there we go. Now you can see all of the values that were calculated in your console. So yeah, that's pretty much how you can create a quick extension. Now, of course, with, for example, the quotient method, there might be some things you need to account for and stuff like that. But generally speaking, that's how you would go about doing it. It's a much more efficient way to to write these sorts of methods in the event that in the event that you absolutely need them, rather than having all that potentially tens, if not hundreds of lines of code in your other source files. You could put it away into an extension of a different type and then use that, right? So that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.